Southampton. Problems on the M90 at the Queen's Ferry crossing. It's currently closed in both directions because of the amount of ice on the bridge and snow causing problems as well, especially in South Lanarkshire. The A74M is closed southbound at junction 14 and the M74 is closed northbound at junction 13, but that's following an accident.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. LBC. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson did the fact that Britain is in the process of and has Brexited. Did that mean we got the vaccination, a world first ahead of the US and the EU? Yes or no, do you believe?
Well, I just reckon we've got the very best people in this country, and we've obviously got the best medical regulators, much better than the French have, much better than the Belgians have, much better than the Americans have. That doesn't surprise me at all, because we're a much better country than every single one.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. Weekday mornings from 7. LBC.
Available exclusively at a Costa near you this Christmas. Terry's Chocolate Orange Hot Chocolate, Quality Street The Purple One Latte, and Hot Chocolate, the ultimate Christmas hot drink creations. To taste the magic, come to your nearest Costa today, or use our app to arrange delivery or collect from a Costa near you. T's and C's apply. Subject to store opening. See Costa.co.uk for details. Available at Costa stores until 30th December 2020.
This is LBC.
Are you the owner of fine wines or rare whiskies? You can sell them effortlessly at thelondonwineseller.com. With hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google, ask for a valuation. We'll get back with a cash offer you'll love. No waiting for brokers or auctions. The London Wine Cellar guarantee to beat any competitor's cash offer with immediate payment terms, conditions and guarantee information on our website. From one special bottle to an investment portfolio, look no further. Visit thelondonwinecellar.com.
What am I looking forward to most?
The biggest box from my nan.
Finally being able to burst my social bubble.
At Trusted PPE, we're looking forward to getting back to normal as much as you are. So let's all pull together to help stop the spread once and for all. In the meantime, stay safe with trustedppe.co.uk. Rated excellent on Trustpilot.
The first time my housemates see it, they're like, we all get in, seatbelts on, flick that switch to turn on the motor, and we're off. I say, connect me, and the bass goes, and everyone's loving it when we hit the road. Back home from another mini electric journey, we're like, search Mini Electric and don't just drive it, feel it.
I'm Jo Brand. As a crisis supporter, I've learned that Christmas is one of the hardest times to be homeless. And this year, things are even tougher. This Christmas, you can give someone who's homeless the support they need. Crisis are providing food, advice, and access to a place to stay, plus long-term help. Please donate today and give someone a Crisis Christmas for £28.22. Go to crisis.org.uk. Thank you.
Right now at your local co-op, get 2 packs of our irresistible hand-cut crisps for just £2. With flavours like pigs in blankets, they're perfect for watching a Christmas film. Trying to watch a Christmas film. Co-op, it's what we do. Subject to availability, see participating store for details. Offer ends 29th of December 2020.
We interrupt this programme for breaking news. Hello?
David, I've never seen anything on this scale before. Friday's £175 million Euro million jackpot is the biggest ever, and it's towering over us.
A whopping £175 million jackpot. That's dream come true money. Euro millions from the National Lottery. Play online or on the app. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
2020. It's certainly not been an easy year, but as it draws to a close, let's try to make this Christmas the best it can be. You can start by shutting cyber criminals out. Before you head online to do your gift shopping, visit cyberaware.gov.uk for some practical steps to help protect you from cybercrime. From creating stronger passwords to updating your devices. And enjoy a Merry Christmas. Get secure online at cyberaware.gov.uk.
Steve on LBC. Text 84858.
Oh, it's nice. I am a celebrity. And do you know what the definition of a celebrity is? According to the internet, it's somebody who's got more than 30,000 followers. Oh, dear sake. Well, would you mind going away, some of you? So anybody with a following of more than 30,000 means that you're a... And that's from the
That's from the Advertising Standards Authority. And the reason is, you have to be defined as a celebrity for the purpose of enforcing advertising rules. And I've got 13,000 social media followers. Well, that's right, because I've got 50,000, so I'm okay on that one. Who promoted this particular case, this particular woman, who's a parenting blogger, promoted a sedative to her Instagram followers without in a declared advert. This circumvented strict laws banning celebrities and health professionals from promoting medication. But she's sought to portray herself as an ordinary member of the public, which is obviously a liar. Not an ordinary member of the public. She's one of these many people who get paid for advertising things. Why do you think every time you see anything from Jordan, it's got, oh, thanks to so-and-so for makeup? It's freebies. It's freebies. Ridiculous. See, what do you call a snowman with a six-pack? Okay, quick. It's an abdominal snowman. Okay, abdominal snowman. Did we get that one? No. Abdominal. It's hopeless, isn't it, honestly? We do our best. I'm trying my best. That means neither Pop, Prince, nor I are celebrities, goes Charlie Girling. It's horrendous. Horrendous. I didn't know that there was actually a precedent that could be set. ASA, so that's why I find it so unusual. They've actually got something that's been laid down in law, which is amazing. Steve, just checking, you're presenting on Boxing Day this year. It's a Saturday. Yes, I should be here on Boxing Day, so that's good. So we'll be doing Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and I think New Year's Day, but things might change. Jack Morlan has 30.2, so he is, I can't tell him, he'll never stop going on about it. Isn't that funny though, that that's the first time that I've ever thought about, you know, how many people determines whether somebody in the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority, think that you're a celebrity, and the cut 30,000. So there's probably quite a few of you out there who would be considered as celebrities. I mean, that's what somebody says. That's got to be a load of rubbish. How did you become a celebrity before social media? I don't know. I have got no idea. I mean, perhaps they didn't bother with it, but now, because of the ASA, and I have to explain that to you, that the Advertising Standards Authority are sort of, they've literally clamped down on people now accepting money from companies and goods to promote something they know nothing about. And you've seen it all over the place. It really is. Steph Fleet says, I've just found you on Instagram. Consider yourself another follower. I don't think I'm on Instagram. Fake account. It's a fake account. Oh, right. Yeah, but I'm not on it. I'm sorry. Steve, you're not a celebrity, says Gordon. You're a legend. Yeah, but what's the difference? What's the difference between a celebrity at 30,000 and a legend? Which is, listen, we don't mind, do we? Steve, snowing in Cambridge. in case you were wondering. And also, you are a celebrity, Steve. Definition is a famous person in entertainment or sport. Definitely, people travelled miles to see in Leicester Square. People have travelled miles. People have travelled many miles. Many miles, as we know. But thank you very much indeed. Charles and Camilla were back at an arts venue. It was the 100 Club. I didn't even know it was still there, to be honest with you. The roadworks that they've decided to sort of cut back on, which is interesting. And what was the other one I had? Oh, the Christmas confusion over the test for visitors. We're all as confused. Listen, all we've got to do is get through it. You know, and we will get through it. It makes it so much easier. Oh, I was going to say something to the producer, actually. No, I've changed my mind. And it was, I can't tell you now because I have to tell you. Just remind me something to tell you. We have a new addition to the global family, which I'm quite excited about. But seriously, very, very interesting time. Bit interesting. Eton's daft to sack a teacher, writes Tom Utley, for being a bit bonkers. Most of the best ones I knew always were. Hence, goodbye, Mr. Chips, I should imagine. They're still pushing out this rumour that they think Valerie Giscard d'Estaing had an affair with Diana. I know. Mind you, to be honest with you, both of them are now not with us, so you can say just about anything. And also, Ghislaine Maxwell, expected to file another bail application, but a judge last night dismissed her plea for it to be heard in secret. This is dragging it out, isn't it? I thought these things would be over and done with by now, but apparently not. Also, BBC's Question Time is to replace its regional weekly audience with a regular pool of members of the public. Rubbish. Seriously, the moment it can click off, go and find something else more entertaining. Because I'm not believing it. Blizzards, now, we found more. They reckon you could get about 8 inches today. So we started off with 3.
You ready,
which
John?
apparently is sort of, quite normal. 7, I was pumping out a short while ago, and now up to 8. They've said in the north, rain with sleet and snow at high levels.
Bye.
South, cloudy with outbreaks. That's all we get, rain. Tomorrow, north cloudy with risk of rain, sleet and sunny spells. Cloudy with showers, some snow in the south tomorrow. Sunday, north dry with sunny spells, patchy cloud. The south dry with sunny spells, patchy cloud. So it only seems like tomorrow afternoon you might get some snow showers down south. So we'll. It's not too bad. There was drama, which I talked about at the beginning of the programme only briefly, because again, it's primetime porn, they say. I don't know what, I mean, it's just can't they just come up with some decent programmes? I mean, looking at the schedule over Christmas, I'm so glad that radio's around. There's so much more going on the radio than anything else, and at least it's all fresh. If anything breaks over Christmas, who can do it instantly? Radio. So that's different. That's definitely. Hugh says, Steve Allen, that's me doomed. I block about 10 people a day, so I'll never get 30,000. Yes. Steve, you're a hero and a saint, which is far more important than being a celebrity. I think we'll leave this one now. Listen, that's it. I have a free Little Bit Extra podcast. I have 2 podcasts every day. This is my free Little Bit Extra podcast. Kylie Minogue wears a very interesting outfit. Looks a bit like a badly made settee. Maya Jama is apparently a millionaire for doing nothing, by the sound of it. And who did Jane Seymour play in Live and Let Die? The answer to that little quiz question awaits you. You can download my Little Bit Extra from the LBC app, Google Player, or wherever else you get your podcasts. As well as listening live to LBC, you can listen back to this and other LBC programmes on our LBC app, as well as listening to a range of podcasts. And if you go to the LBC website, you can find I've got a special offer on my Groovy Gang Prosecco glasses. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back with you on Sunday morning at 10. It's David Lammy in for James O'Brien, but next with your Friday breakfast, it's Nick Ferrari.
Thanks, Steve. At 7 o'clock on Friday, December the 4th, a Brexit in the balance, on the line over fish, but Boris is still bouncing.
Things that we can do, actually, as a result of coming out of the EU, that supports, for instance, areas of special tax breaks.
Water treatment plant near Bristol. Now the investigation into how this tragedy in Avonmouth.
Over those quarantine restrictions.
Good news for some people as the travel quarantine restrictions come to an end, but only if you're high value. I'm LBC's Matthew Thompson with the details.
Plus the row that won't go away. Police now going into pubs and telling pub goers to eat up their Scotch eggs so they can get out. Yes, the story just continues and continues. It's all after the news.
On your player.
Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 7 o'clock, the UK's medicines regulator has defended the approval of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, saying there was no compromise on safety. America's top infectious disease expert has warned the speed at which the MHRA authorized the jab could undermine confidence in it. Dr. Anthony Fauci claimed US regulators will do a more thorough job. But Professor of Global Public Health at Edinburgh University, Dr. Devi Sridhar, says corners haven't been cut.
The MHRA is a very rigorous agency, and the checks it's been doing has been on a rolling basis over the past few months as the trial results have come in. So it's not like they made a decision just one day to the next without, having the information over a long period. It was a decision that was building over weeks.
The first doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech jab are now believed to have arrived in the UK. Vaccinations are due to begin early next week. The EU is being accused of introducing new elements into talks on a post-Brexit trade deal at the 11th hour. A UK government source says the talks will continue in London later, with less than 4 weeks to go now until the end of the transition period. Labour's Hilary Benn chairs the future relationship with the EU Select Committee. He thinks it's in everyone's interest to reach
lamb farmer, if you make motor cars, and you're looking at the prospects of tariffs, if you're a consumer, thinking about the potential for increased food prices, why on earth, in the run-up to Christmas when we're already facing the worst economic crisis for coronavirus, would political leaders knowingly end up with no agreement?
Boris Johnson's announced a new target to cut greenhouse gas emissions. The UK will aim to reduce 1990 levels by at least 68% by 2030. The Prime Minister says it's the most ambitious green target set by any major economy so far, but campaigners are calling for policies and action to achieve it. Pubs, bars and restaurants in Wales will be banned from selling any alcohol from this evening under the nation's latest coronavirus restrictions. Hospitality venues will also have to close by 6 p.m. every night. Snow is causing disruption in parts of Scotland this morning. There have been accidents on several major roads and blizzards are causing trains to be cancelled through Motherwell. Weather warnings for snow, rain and ice are in place for much of the north as well as parts of London, the east and the southeast of England. In the city, the FTSE 100 will reopen at 64.90 after closing up 26 points yesterday. The pound buys $1.34 and €1.10. And the weather, cold with heavy rain and sleet affecting most areas at times. It may fall as snow this morning. Later.
LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Ferrari at breakfast. It's 3 minutes after 7 on Friday, December the 4th. Coming up in this hour, the Brexit deal on the line over fish. Yes, you do. I know Brexit in the balance is probably making you yawn, but we will give you full details as it does appear to be a fairly crucial day. Meanwhile, in other news, what on earth happened down at the Wessex water plant in Avonmouth in Bristol? 4 people lost their lives, another injured following a large explosion. We'll bring you a full report on that. If you've got a gift card with Arcadia, they're seeking to withdraw to like 50% of its value. But is that legal? Details on that. How Ryanair could help Boeing get flying again, literally. We'll give you more on that in our regular look at the world of business. And it's the story that just won't go away. Do you remember this question back, oh God, was it only Monday? Monday to Cabinet Minister George Eustace. Would a Scotch egg count as a substantial meal?
I think a Scotch egg probably would count as a substantial meal if there were table service.
And today's headlines, Scotch egg tension in pubs as they speak of overzealous police forcing drinkers to munch down their Scotch eggs. Details later in the show.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC.
Imagine the scene in a pub. Excuse me, sir. Yes? Is that a Scotch egg? Oh, yes, it is actually. Well, could you hurry up a little bit? I think I need you to eat that Scotch egg in double quick time and get out. What have we started? Okay, to Brexit and the headlines. I'll read you some of them in the regular review, the front page of many of the newspapers. It would seem, oh God, I can't even believe I'm going to say this again. How many times have I said this? Brexit is in the balance as we head for a showdown. Hey, in talks between Boris Johnson and Emmanuel Macron at some point over this weekend with the prospect of a deal, it would appear now to be pretty much hanging on the French access to fish in British waters. It is reported that the two are, and indeed the Brexit negotiating teams from the United Kingdom and the European Union, are at odds over the right to fish in British waters. Senior Downing Street sources unsure as to whether the French president might torpedo the Brexit deal at the last possible moment. Now, Boris Johnson had one of his people's PMQs via a video link yesterday, and Boris Johnson was asked what impact Brexit could have on the business community.
There will be things that we can do actually as a result of coming out of the EU that I think could be, very positive. Free ports, for instance, areas of where you can have special tax breaks to get people to start up and and invest. We're going to be looking at all that kind of thing. So I'm very, very positive about it. But the single best thing you can do for business now is get that disease right under control. What's going to make business boom in this country is going to be confidence. An ounce of confidence is worth a ton of Rishi's money.
Chair of the Future Relationship with the EU Select Committee, Labour's Hilary Benn, spoke with my colleague on LBC, Tom Swarbrick, talking about the fact no deal could, though, be damaging to the UK.
Great deal right on this. If you're a beef farmer, a lamb farmer, if you make motor cars and you're looking at the prospects of tariffs, if you're a consumer thinking about the potential for increased food prices, why on earth, in the run-up to Christmas when we're already facing the worst economic crisis for 300 years because of coronavirus, would political leaders knowingly end up with no agreement that would bring all of these adverse consequences? It is in nobody's interests that there is no
discontent. Labour backbenchers, it makes a change, I suppose, and possibility even that the leader, Sir Keir Starmer, significant unrest. He addressed that.
We'll look at the rules. We don't know that there will be a deal. I hope there will. As soon as there's a deal, we'll look at it. But, you know, if the choice is a deal or no deal, then a deal is obviously in the national interest. The Labour Party's pulled together hugely in the last few months, presenting a strong, united front. We'll do the same on this issue. Of course, there are different opinions, as you would expect, but we'll pull together, discuss it as a team, and be united.
So that dissent then growing backbench through to the front benches possibly as well. We'll have a report from Paris in a moment. First to David Hennig, who's UK Director of European Centre for International Political Economy and a former Department of International Trade negotiator. Ms. Hennig, thank you for coming on. How important is British fish to French fishermen and women, if there are any? Good morning.
Good morning. Look, fish is tremendously important, and I've been on record for a while now saying I don't think the EU and the French have been taking this seriously, and you know, it is a crunch weekend. I don't think
I don't want to be rude, David. Honestly, I'm not being rude to you personally, sir, but I have heard that so many times. Surely you have too. It is the crunch weekend. Are you saying this really is the crunch weekend, David?
Look, with Brexit, we are. This should be the crunch weekend. We are not absolutely certain. I cannot promise your listeners that this is definitely the crunch weekend, but it should be. I mean, we're running out of time. There realistically wouldn't be time to get it to properly look at a deal after this, but I cannot honestly say that if they failed to come up with a deal this weekend, they wouldn't try again next week. But this should be the crunch.
Let me ask you this. The answer to this question is asked them, but why do you suppose the French have only just woken up to this?
It isn't so much that they've only just woken up to it, it's that they were hoping, as you often hope in these trade negotiations, that you can get it, that you can somehow get away with it, that somehow something will happen, the Brits will want something else. There was the talk that we'd want more access to financial services or something else. They hoped that they'd never have to face this issue in France. In fact, the EU countries have been talking about how they would manage lower access to UK fishing waters, but our fishing waters are quite large compared to a lot of EU countries. They're pretty lucrative. So it's not surprising that they want them. France has an election, I think, next year or the year after. It's an important issue for them as well.
David, what level of detail do we have? I appreciate this is difficult, but are we trying to give them only, 20% of what they're requesting, or what are the actual facts as we know them to date? I hear you laugh. Clearly, it's
hear the facts from within the room.
Right.
And it's even tricky to work out what the starting facts are. But the clear point is that the UK fishing fleet currently accesses something less than 50% of the fish in our waters. We clearly expect that that's going to be a lot more, and that would mean that French and other vessels would have less access. There are figures being bandied around as to numbers, but I suspect it's something about numbers. There will be something about transition periods and reviews. There will be lots of things that can be done. and it does all seem that this could be heading in the direction of a final call between Boris Johnson and the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and that's probably a good thing. And that is what we're really all hoping for this weekend, actually breaks this issue.
Lastly, what do we take from Ireland's Foreign Minister Simon Coveney, who went to Paris and seems to signal some form of EU disunity, urging Emmanuel Macron to drop the veto, saying negotiations at the very end and significant disruption, cost, stress and blame games between Brussels and London. From an Irish perspective, we get caught in the crossfires. David?
Well, he certainly wants a deal, but there's also, to be honest, the Irish have fishing fleets as well as the French, so there's some haggling going on there. Look, this is end of trade deal haggling. It happens. There is more than just fish to be resolved, but clearly Ireland wants a deal.
Thanks for your background on that. David Hennig is UK Director of European Centre for International Political Economy and former Department of International Trade negotiator. And notwithstanding the importance of a call between Boris Johnson and Ursula von der Leyen, of course the European Commission President, much of it does hinge on Boris Johnson and Emmanuel Macron. So let's go to LBC's correspondent in Paris, Peter Allen, who joins me now. Peter, do we have any intelligence on the relationship between those two men prior to any calls being made? Morning.
Morning, Nick. Generally, it's extremely good. If nothing else, Emmanuel Macron's a consummate diplomat. He tries to be a friend to everybody. Of course, he speaks excellent English. I remember in the early days of his presidency, he even mentioned going on holiday to Britain and spending weekends there. But he's also fundamentally anti-Brexit. He was calling it a crime at the start of his administration. French interests are absolutely the fundamental interests that he's supporting in all these negotiations. And this issue of fishing is extremely important to him. He's taking it very, very personally indeed. He's from northern France. All the big fishing ports here in France are in the north. Boulogne is the biggest one. And he's doing everything to support 23,000 French fishermen.
Let me ask you this, and COVID, I'm afraid, took care of that, but I used to keep an eye on Monsieur Macron's popularity, and during les Gilets jaunes, it could be said to be rather at basement level. How is he playing domestically, and is this obviously going to be speaking to his core vote, Peter?
Yes, it's very low at the moment. He's not doing very well in the opinion polls, around 30% popularity. And of course, he's got his eye on the next French presidential election, which is in 2022. He's also trying to establish himself as a leader of Europe, of course. And this issue is overfishing, is a way of him really to come to the fore in these negotiations. So I think he is trying to appeal to his, not just his core voters, of course, but all the other voters that need to, that he needs to win the presidency again in 2022.
Lastly, noting that the French are in many ways to be admired, the way their farmers respond, the way that those involved in lamb and various others, and they're quite happy to take to the streets. How robust or how strong a lobby are French fishermen and women, if you have them?
They're very strong indeed.
Are they?
Little known trade unions in France, but they have a very, very big impact. Fishermen are the same. We've already heard about wars in the English Channel attacking British fishermen. They are streets of France as well to lobby Mr. Macron to call for a better deal in the EU negotiations.
Good speaking with you, Peter. Enjoy the weekend. Peter Allen, LBC's man in Paris. They shall fight them on the beaches and on the high seas, it would appear. Here's a question for you. Would you be prepared to give up on fish to get Brexit done? That really is a yes or a no, isn't it? Give up on fish, no longer on the line. Give them what they want, and we get Brexit done.